to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, now and ever, and unto ages of ages. Amen. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. Master, bless.
May Christ, our true God, through the prayers of his most pure Mother, our venerable and God-great fathers, love the holy, glorious, all laudable apostles, St. Nicholas of Myra, like you, the wonder worker, our venerable Mother Xenia of St. Petersburg, whom we commemorate today, of our Holy Father Herman, elder and wonder worker of Alaska and all American, of all the saints, have mercy on us and save us, for he is good and lost mankind.
Amen. Each one et despota.
Straßenkamp, happy feast. Today we celebrate St. Xenia of St. Petersburg, who was a very remarkable figure. She lived at the end of the 18th century. Her husband, who was a young military officer, was he was drinking and gambling with his buddies, and he fell over dead. And this shocked her. Of course, it shocked all of them. One of them went off and started a monastery. But St. Xenia, being a new widow and finding herself with rather large amount of resources to deal with, put on her husband's clothes and started calling herself by his name, which was Andrew, and began giving out charity in his name so that people would pray for his soul. Then eventually she disappeared from St. Petersburg, and it's thought that she went to the monastery where this other former officer had relocated, and it was a thriving monastery, one for men, one for women, and there she learned the ascetic life. And when she came back to St. Petersburg, she would wear nothing but a light summer dress, light cotton dress, summer and winter, without a coat. And she would go around and she acted crazy. And so everybody thought she was this crazy old lady, and until the things that she did proved to be prophetic, or that she would heal people, or she would bring them words that they needed to hear from God, so that it touched their souls. She lived in the Smolensk cemetery where they were building a church. And at night, because she slept just outside in the cemetery, she helped out with the building of the church. She would take hods of bricks on her back up the scaffolding and put them there for the bricklayers to use in the morning. So she, with her own hands, helped to build that church, where you can still go now, and there are many thousands of people who visit that place, many thousands of people who visit her grave, which is there in the middle. There's a little building over her grave, a little chapel, and there's a sepulcher there under which she is buried. And on the top of the stone is written, all those who remember me and my parents, I will remember before God. So it's a wonderful place to go and visit. I first went there in 1993 when the building was still, the chapel was still closed, and people would tuck little notes into every crack, in every crevice, in every cranny that they could. And they would light candles. It's amazing it didn't burn down. And then later on, they completely remodeled it. Of course, there was the official canonization. And so everything was beautifully done in marble. And there's pretty much a perpetual prayer service in the coffins from heaven that goes on in that chapel 8 or 10 hours, 12 hours a day. And sometimes there are huge lines of people waiting to go in and to lay their cares at the feet of Saint Xenia. So she's a much beloved saint in St. Petersburg. As it turns out, I was ordained on February 6th, 26 years ago, so as a deacon, so that's kind of an interesting thing. What a great patron we know to have, or patroness. Also, I wanted to show you this new icon, which is a gift to the parish from Father Victor in St. John's Cathedral. So I was up having lunch with Father Victor yesterday. He said, "Oh, by the way, how would you like to have this icon?" So it's St. Elizabeth, the royal martyr who started the St. Martha and Mary convent, and who was the sister of the Tsarina, so Grand Duchess Elizabeth. And if you ask Marilyn Swayze, she can tell you all about her. I'm sure there's others, but she's a wonderful, wonderful contemporary saint. She was a convert. She had grown up Lutheran, and she was chrismated into the Orthodox Church and fully embraced Orthodoxy. It's a blessing to have her. So God bless you.